You're watching Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Appreciate you joining us. Coming up on today's show, we're going to take an inside look at our NFL Daily program where we answer your Q&A mailbag questions. And we had some really good ones this week, specifically of the Baltimore Ravens, from Justin Madubuike to Mark Andrews and others. We'll dissect all of that and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, want to make sure you lock us in for the latest happenings on your Baltimore Ravens as we cover this team each and every day throughout the offseason, bringing you daily news and rumors, our mailbags, got some live shows, great stuff ahead. So subscribe now for free, never miss a moment. Anytime the Ravens make a move, we're going to stop what we're doing. We're going to make you a video as quick as we can. Lock us in, subscribe now for free, and we'll get started with today's show. Our first question in the mailbag today comes from Jake the Dog. Jake writes in, who would be a good fit to sign Justin Madubuike from the Baltimore Ravens? Great question, Jake the Dog. First off, Justin Madubuike coming off a fantastic campaign in 2023 with 13 sacks, really just came into his own and looked like one of the best defensive linemen in all of football. And now the Baltimore Ravens have a decision to make, okay? What are they going to do about Justin Madubuike? Because the Ravens don't have a ton of money to spend at the moment. Now, granted, you'll have some cap cuts and you'll shift some money around, so you'll try to open up some space. But you can't afford to sign everybody if you're the Baltimore Ravens with 20-plus free agents that team has. And I think realistically for the Baltimore Ravens, what it's going to come down to is they're going to have to make a choice. They cannot afford to re-sign both Justin Madubuike and Patrick Queen. They're likely going to have to choose one or the other. And if I'm the Baltimore Ravens, I'm choosing Madubuike between the two. And I'm letting Patrick Queen either franchise tag and trade him or walk, whatever it may be, if I have to choose between the two here. I think that Madubuike is too important. Defensive linemen don't grow on trees. You already drafted Trenton Simpson last year with the expectation of him essentially replacing Patrick Queen at some point in time. I think that's the best bet, is that where Madubuike goes is right back to where he was before, to the Baltimore Ravens. That's what I would expect. I think that's his best fit there, and the Baltimore Ravens would love to have him back. Our pen comment today, where will Justin Madubuike play next season? Will it be with the Baltimore Ravens, or will it be somewhere else? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know where you think he's going to go. Ron Swanson checking in. I think Ron Swanson's probably a top 10 TV character of all time, if I'm going to be frank with you. Could the Ravens trade Mark Andrews? Isaiah Likely was really good in his place. All right, this might not make some Ravens fans happy here, but I'm going to be real with y'all. I think that the clock is ticking on Mark Andrews' time with the Baltimore Ravens. I do think he's back next year, but I don't know beyond that. Because of the emergence of Isaiah Likely and the offense not missing a beat when Mark Andrews was out this past year, they got to feel pretty good about their younger tight end who's much cheaper. And we mentioned the Ravens not having enough cash for both Madubuike and Patrick Queen. They got to go find some cash over the next couple of years. And I don't know if they want to pay Mark Andrews again when you got a young rising star like Likely coming up through the ranks here. I don't think they trade him now, but I do think that end is near of Mark Andrews' time with the Baltimore Ravens, just because they need that money, and they've essentially already found his replacement at this point in time. But I would be surprised if he's gone this offseason anyway. Put your GM hat on. Let us know. Should the Ravens trade Mark Andrews? Y for yes, N for no. Is it time to move on from Mark Andrews or not in Baltimore? Weigh in. Tell us what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Manscaped. 2024 is here in full swing, and that means it's time for a New Year's resolution check-in with our friends at Manscaped. Newsflash, it's never too late to level up your grooming game and keep your bush tamed. Manscaped's new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Whether you're going for a trim or that clean-shaven look, this trimmer has you covered. Trusted by over 10 million men worldwide, now is your time to get a grip on your grooming with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com, use code CHAT for 20% off plus free shipping. Ball is dropped, but don't drop the ball on your balls. Now, let's talk about some of the products we got here. We got the MVP of 2024, Manscaped's 5th generation lawn mower. It's not just a trimmer, it's your grooming sidekick. And it's also equipped with 2 skin-safe blade heads as well, just so you can keep your little boys safe down there. Also, folks, we have the Manscaped Performance Package 5.0, which has got all sorts of great stuff that we're offering here, folks. The grooming kit, you get the trusted lawnmower. You also get the Manscaped's ear and nose hair trimmer and essential aftercare products with the Crop Soother Ball Aftershave Lotion and Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, because nobody wants stinky balls. Get 20% off and free shipping with code CHAT at manscaped.com. Embrace a new you, and definitely embrace a new trimmer, courtesy of Manscaped. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Check out Manscaped today and start saving now. You'll be glad you did. All right, this question's got me a little fired up. Cottage81 writes, is Baker overrated? Overrated? What? Went to the Pro Bowl this year, played on a $4 million contract. What are we talking about? What is there to overrate with this guy? Baker Mayfield is one of the best underdog stories we've seen in the National Football League in recent memory, okay? This is a guy that walked on, not once but twice, at Big Tex's favorite schools, Texas Tech and Oklahoma. He was told he was too short, that he wasn't good enough, still goes out and wins a Heisman Trophy, takes Oklahoma to the college football playoff, still finds his way to be the number 1 overall pick, okay? Then he goes to the Cleveland Browns and achieves things we had never seen before with the Cleveland Browns, taking them to the playoffs for the first time in however many years it was. Got a little injured, a little banged up. They wrote him off. He didn't write back. He ends up going to Carolina, bad organization. Things didn't work out there. And then actually deals with a stable organization, a good head coach in Sean McVay, and his career turns around. Goes to Tampa Bay, has a Pro Bowl season this year. Baker Mayfield is a very good quarterback in this league. I think Baker Mayfield is a franchise quarterback in this league. So, is he overrated? No. I don't want Baker Mayfield on my team. In fact, a team like the Baltimore Ravens, for example, folks, last year, their backup plan, if they weren't going to get a deal done with Lamar Jackson, you know what it was? It was Baker Mayfield. They love Baker Mayfield. They respect Baker Mayfield. And I think around the league, people are starting to realize this guy's got it. Brian writes, will Hertz return to elite status with his new offensive coordinator? So it's interesting you bring up Jaylen Herz here because it's a similar story to Baker Mayfield, right? Jaylen Herz, not only both quarterbacks going to Oklahoma and all that, but Jaylen Herz this past season, I think the Philadelphia Eagles made the mistake of playing him hurt, okay? That they should have let him rest and fully recover and then go back out there. But he was never truly healthy, and he was playing injured all season long. I think Jaylen Herz this upcoming year, just by getting healthier, getting back to the way he's supposed to be, will go a long ways, and we'll see him play to his full potential. I would expect him to be an elite quarterback again, to look like that top 5 quarterback that we all know he is. Assuming he's healthy, Jaylen will do that. Ev writes in, Panthers signed and trade Brian Burns to Baltimore for David Ojabo in their first-round pick and next year's third-round pick. So this is something we talked about this week on Ravens Rundown, Ev. I like the idea of Brian Burns in Baltimore. To me, that's an intriguing idea to bring him in. It would not be cheap, the draft capital and the trade to make it happen. I wouldn't have a problem if I'm Baltimore departing from David Ojabo when he hasn't really been on the football field much the last couple of years. I think that could make sense. And if you're the Carolina Panthers, you're still not going to be good anytime soon. You got to start thinking about, okay, when is the time to move on from Brian Burns and try to get something while we can to match up our timeline correctly? Last question comes in from XX Epic Jet XX. I wouldn't want to check his browser history. What team do you think is most likely to spend big in free agency? The Texans? Texans will be one of those teams. I think the Commanders will be one of those teams. I think the Bears will be one of those teams. Whoever's got cap space, essentially, is going to be throwing some cash out there this free agency period. So, with that, before we go, let's ask you one more question. Give us a bold prediction for the 2024 NFL season. Not too early to be looking at a 2024. Give me a bold prediction. The bolder, the better. The hotter, the spicier. We love it all here on the channel. Subscribe now. Appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next time.